I don't know if you were sitting there listening to Jay and A-Rod, kind of talk to us now, but I was just curious, what's that like, seeing them talk up your guys and knowing what they're doing for their particular groups and getting this team ready?
I wasn't here for Jay, and I caught the end of A-Rod when he's talking about Sam Houston. So other than that, I mean, I'm pretty sure we talk a lot about the personnel, scheme, strategy, all that stuff. So I'm really comfortable with those guys leading the defense and the offense, and definitely comfortable with Kelly Papinga leading the special teams. And so we're in a really good spot now. I think we'll take advantage of the practices that we have, and then start working a little bit more focus on our first opponent. So that's basically it. But I've been really happy with what I've seen from our coordinators in all three phases.
How much do you enjoy seeing the guys make this transition? Because this is the time where they go from that camp mentality to the game prep and ramp up that intensity in that way. How much fun is it to see that?
Yeah, I mean, I've coaches that want to just get work done, and so that's always a positive for me, and then they're very like-minded. So a lot of times, any of the concerns or issues that I might have, are already corrected before I can even mention it, and that's you have to remember that I grew up in the business with those guys, and so we're really comfortable with each other, but we also know that we can communicate well, but we know that that we care about each other, so there's not like any egos that show up. So it's an easy transition for me, and I hope it's an easy transition for them as well.
Okay, now we'll have Mitch Harper and then Jay Drew.
Kalani, having all those coordinators who you just were talking about, the comfort you have with them, how has that freed up your schedule in this past camp compared to years previously where you had to be more hands-on with the defense? How has it freed up your schedule? What dynamics have changed for you heading into the season?
Yeah, that's a great question. For me, it allows me to just look at the players individually, and anytime I want to just kind of evaluate a position group or see how certain guys are progressing and how they're developing, I can spend a little bit more time doing that. And so I'm not really too worried about scheme or the play call or that the technique's being taught right. I'm more just focused on helping the individual player, and then in some ways just giving my feedback and my experience with different position groups on the field. So I've coached a lot of different positions myself, and I'm a little older now, so there's a lot of things that I can really help out, and doesn't have to be focused on leading the offense or the defense or feeling like I have to be involved now with that part. I'm involved more from the coordinator perspective, where we talk and discuss, and when we're on the headphones, I want to be listening to the plays and talking to them and giving my feedback. But so far, it's gone exactly how I wanted to go, and I can use a lot of my time with a lot of different areas, and I think specifically that goes to the players.
And for you personally, do you have, this might be tough to say because all these seasons mean a ton to you, but do you have more excitement for this year, knowing the Big 12 and Power Conference football is the thing that this program has waited for so long? Is there more excitement maybe than years gone by for this season?
No, I mean, I appreciate the job that I have, and the moments that I enjoy is the season. So I love the game of football, and I love BYU football. And so for me, the excitement, the energy, it's every year it seems like it gets better and better. And that's probably because I'm a lot older, but it just for me it gets better. And so this is another level of excitement. I'm anticipating just seeing the guys perform at their best, and as a head coach, I'm trying to get our guys to do it 12 times, and that's the focus. It's not really so much the opponent. I know we'll have to look at strategy, look at scheme, and see how we match up, but I want our players to be ready for 12 opportunities to be at their best and perform at our best, and then I think we'll just live with the results if that happens.
Go ahead, Jay.
Kalani, how did you come out of camp? I know it was a really physical camp. How did you come out of it health-wise, and was Micah Harper the only season-ending injury you had?
Yes, Michael Harper's the only season-ending injury. We're still evaluating some people to see if they'll be ready for the first game, probably will know more towards the end of the week. But yeah, we're still looking at guys that are banged up, and then it's just guys that can actually play through their through the injury, and if it's wise for them to, and then. But that's really all it comes down to is if guys are going to be ready for the first week, and the way we're looking at it now, it seems like we should be good, all set minus Michael Harper, of course.
And then a big question going into camp and even back into the spring was how the 60 new faces would kind of assimilate and how you would build cohesion. By all accounts, that's happened. How is that manifested? In what ways does that manifest itself? What do you see as far as that tells you that these guys are fitting in well?
Yeah, these guys love each other. There's no way to fake it. You guys have been around our team. Even the short amount of time that the media has been able to spend, you can tell that there's something genuine, and there's a sense of that they really care for each other. And I can tell because of the way that they treat each other. And it's just a huge compliment to the guys that are here to welcome in so many newcomers, whether they're from another school or from missions. And there a lot of them are a risk to take their playing time, and to have them do it because of the better of the team, and to be so open into helping people and helping each other out, and it's been reciprocated by the guys that are coming in, giving their expertise and their knowledge, and our team is better for it. And I give a lot of credit to the coaches for making sure that we brought the right people that fit our program, our culture, and not just about talent that we see on the field. I think there's a overall feeling that we need to protect the culture and bring guys that can actually be assets to our culture rather than liabilities. And we feel really good about the group that's here, and they've done an amazing job on the field and then off the field together. Just you could tell there's a brotherhood and a love there, and there's a lot of guys that are here for the first time that I felt like they've always been a part of our program, and that's from Keaton to all the other ones. And that's, if you talk to them, there's a certain level of comfort that they feel here, and a certain level of love, and that's before they even get to hang out and see the energy that the fans bring. So I think that's going to be amplified even more once the season starts.
Okay, now we'll have a couple questions from Jared Lloyd and then more questions from Mitch Harper.
Kalani, you've talked up the depth this year. You've been pleased with the depth, and I know there's a lot of guys that you've expressed, that you've been impressed with what they've been able to do. But at the same time, there's only so many reps in the game, and that's a reality everybody has to acknowledge. How do you try and balance making sure everybody understands their role and feels valued, when not everybody can get on the field?
Yeah, everyone's role is going to have to be different. There's only 11 guys on the field at a time, and there's only so many reps in practice, and so the ones are going to get all the reps, and eventually the twos will be able to get some in practice, but the ones need all the looks, and the twos are going to have to get some of the looks, but be able to also learn from film and learn from the being off on the side and seeing it. But yeah, you're right. And when it comes to the game, we got to have the best guys on the field. And I think 2 deep is as good as we can get. We'd be lucky to have 3, but we think that if you're a third on our team, you can probably get better by going against the 1s and the 2s on the opposite side. And that's go out there and get some work. So I think we threw a bunch of basically the whole playbook at our offense and our defensive players, and got a lot of film. So there's stuff that's already there. If guys aren't able to practice with the defense, then they got to go to scout team and give our offense a good look, and at the same time they'll develop their skills. And so rather than sit around and hope for reps, because we don't have reps to go for threes, that's just not going to happen anymore. And hopefully in the season we don't get there. But if we do, then we'll have to utilize the practice time and getting the 1s and 2s ready to go. That's the premier focus for us right now, going into this last part of camp.
Just to piggyback on that.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry, Mitch. Just one quick thing. Just what are your concerns, Kalani, as you turn now to game prep? What needs to happen before game 1?
No, just keep working. If we continue on the trajectory that we're doing currently day to day, I feel good about by the time we get to September 2nd. So, and that's everything. You talk about my concerns as a coach, it's everything. I even make up stuff to just be concerned about. So I want to be over prepared going into the season, and luckily the coaches are the same way, and the players are also doing it. So we feel really comfortable where we're at, but let's find ways to get more uncomfortable so we can grow and get better, and then when we get there, I think we'll be in a really good spot. Now, so it's a different game. Things happen, but I think 60 minutes gives you enough time in the game to get things right and make sure that that the outcome ends up the way that you want it to be.
Kalani, last year adversity was a tough thing for this program to overcome. Do you feel like with that camaraderie that you noted earlier about all these new faces coming together, do you feel like this is a team and program that's better equipped to navigate adversity this season?
Yeah, and I think the approach to this year is to talk about adversity right away, because it's going to happen, and to include that in what we're trying to plan on. I mean, there's going to be adversity for them in their personal lives and academics, and there's so much going on that you just need to plan on it. I think planning for the worst is not a bad thing. We're a people that believes in preparation. So this intent going to this camp, into this season, is to make sure that we talk about adversity, and we talk about things like entitlement and how to handle success, but also how to handle obstacles. And so we hit that from the very beginning. We've been talking about that with our players over and over again, and I love the battles that we're having on offense and defense, meaning that not one side is dominating the other, which is a good sign. And then when one is having success, the other one's able to respond. And so when you have this back and forth, that's a good sign for a program. And you see everybody getting better at the same time.
Last thing from me, Kalani, is Roderick noted that there's contemplating who to have as the second string quarterback because of the redshirt between Redshirt and Finnegan's already used his. Are there already players on the roster that you and the staff have said, this guy's going to redshirt, we're going to sit him out ideally to let him just play his 4 games if needed? Have you already designated those certain players on the roster?
I don't know if we've designated it completely, but there's you want everyone to be ready, but I think there's a natural tendency to say, hey, if you're a guy that has a red shirt, to say, hey, I'd rather save my year, and then use the 4 games throughout the season. Now it's a matter of where do you use them, where do you have it going, and for now it's just everybody's up for grabs right now in game 1, and then we'll just kind of change it with whoever we play in this first game, and then go to the second. But like you're right, I think to make it easier, it's just hard to make it a mention on the whole group altogether, but it's going to have to be individual. Like with Jake Retzloff, it's we would like to keep him redshirt and use that redshirt year, and we have other quarterbacks that are healthy, but it's just a matter of how the season goes and how things go with Keaton. So all that being said, we're very flexible, and we have players that are see everything on the same page. They're on the same page with us, and so they have the same vision that we have. And there's some that are just probably going to play. Some people that have red shirts available that we just need them to play, and not think about that. So if they're in the first or second, if they're in the 2 deep, then more than likely they're just going to play. Retzloff being the exception.
Awesome. I think that wraps up the questions for today. Coach, thank you so much for your time. Hope you have a great rest of your day.
Take care, guys.